Okay, good day everyone. I believe you can all hear me now. Please, if you can hear me, kindly type yes into the comment section so that I can get started. Apologies for the slight glitch. If you can hear me, type yes into the comment section. Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me? Hello, can anyone hear me? If you can hear me, please type yes into the comment section so that I can get started. Apologies for the slight glitches. Okay, yeah, thank you very much, Eugene, and I'm glad to welcome you all to this live session. It's been a bit long, I went live. Okay, thanks everyone, thank you very much. So I'll get started. So before I get started, I'll introduce myself. My name is Onye Maudeze, and my background is in architecture. I am also a content creator. I consider myself a creative. I create online courses. I have a couple of courses on LinkedIn Learning. Also, I'm part of a team that have another e-learning platform called blazeme.com. So today, basically, I'm going to be talking about paperless construction and project management. And I'm going to be looking at it from a very practical perspective. This is not a lecture on project management or construction. This is going to be basically exploring how we can use a tool, which is PlanGrid Build App, to reduce the amount of paper we use on site and also increase collaboration. So I'll just go ahead and start sharing my screen. Like I said, this session is going to be using PlanGrid Build App, which is a mobile app, but also it has a web version, which is called Autodesk Build. So in the course of this presentation, I'll be switching between my laptop and my mobile device to be showing you how you can leverage this software or these platforms to increase collaboration on a project site. So first thing first, I will share my screen and I'll show you how to set up the platform. So I believe you guys can see my screen. Yes, so first thing is, of course, this is a collaboration platform, and I also have to mention that I am not marketing any vendor in this presentation. This is basically a tool that aids collaboration on the project site and also reduce paperless construction. Paperless construction. So the first thing you have to do, if you want to create a project on this platform, you go to acc.autodesk.com, which is basically the ACC means Autodesk Construction Cloud. ACC is a collection of different solutions. So we have so many different solutions within this ecosystem. And we're going to be looking at one of them today. So when you go to this platform, you log in with your account. So, and the first thing you want to do is to establish the project. So imagine on the construction site, you have a lot of companies that are collaborating on that. You have the subcontractors, you have the general contractor, you have the consultants, you have the manufacturers, the suppliers, the client rep, perhaps the facility manager that is even going to manage the facility. So many stakeholders are going to be collaborating together on a project site. So now you need to first of all create the project and set some standards. So ideally on a project, you need to, at the beginning of that project, create what is called the BIM execution plan, whereby all the stakeholders come together and agree how they want to implement BI and building information modeling on that project, right? So the first thing you have to do on this platform is to create the project. So when you come to this acc.autodesk.com, you see the list of the projects that we currently have active. This is a web platform, it runs solely on the web. So you click on create project from here, and then from here, a couple of fields that I have to fill. Not all of them are compulsory. So because of time, I'll just fill the compulsory ones. So let's say this is called a sample project 2022 0070 something, right? And then let's say the project number is 0070. Just perhaps in your company, you know how you name your project. And of course, if you have multiple accounts on this platform, you need to specify on which one I'm going to be using. So I have an account for my LinkedIn Learning courses, and I choose that, and then you specify the project type. So let's assume that this is a hotel. So these are only the compulsory fields. The rest are just not compulsory. You can fill them up. So once you create a project on this platform, the next thing you now need to do is to now begin to add project members. So please, at any time, if you cannot hear me or if anything goes wrong, just type into the comment section. And also, if you have any question in the course of this presentation, feel free to type into the comment section and I will respond to all of them at the end of the presentation. So once you create a project on this platform, you need to now decide the services that you need active. So basically, like I said earlier, this is a suite of solutions run on the Autodesk Construction Cloud. So they have a couple of solutions like Docs and Build. And so depend on the license that you purchase. You have what you call BIM Collaborate Pro, which comes with Docs, Build, Design Collaboration, and Model Coordination. They also have another one called Build, which comes with the Build model and the cost management. So in this case, for the sake of this presentation, I'll just activate these two. So this is my own account. And of course, I have to establish the company that you belong and also your role on that. So let's say I'm the construction manager on this project. You can have more than one role as a person on a project. And then after that, you also need to specify your access level. So there are two access levels on these platforms. You can either be a project administrator, which gives you access to basically everything on the platform, or you're just a project member, which limits you to your company work in progress, files and folders and whatnot. So in this case, let's assume that I'm the construction manager. I'm also the project admin on this platform. Then once I do that, I can also invite other people. So in this case now, you can have so many people in the projects from different companies. So this is now where you begin to invite them. You might already have had them in your account admin on this platform. But in this case, I have a couple of emails on this platform. So I'll just quickly use them. So let's say this is one of them. And then so you can see a couple of them here. So let's say I invite these two people, for example, into the project from different companies. So basically, because I already have the accounts on my account admin, their company and their roles will automatically be assigned. And in this case, I want them to be project members on this platform. And just like I did for myself, I will activate the build model, which automatically will also activate docs and insights. So that is basically how you create a project. You can invite as many people as you want. And then once you create this and you invited people into the project, once you refresh this page, by the time you come to the top left side of this menu, you see the various models that are on this platform. So now the next thing I need to do is to now begin to set up how you want to, the folder structure and some other things. And also one other thing you can also do, by the time you're creating a project on this platform, you can actually set up a template. I intentionally did not show that earlier. So assuming you already have a project whereby you have a couple of templates, you've already configured a lot of things, and you need to use that template. Then when you're creating a project in the field, just like I created a project just now, by the time I come in here and I say create project, and then I go into this place, you see something here that is called a project template. So let me quickly put a project here, and then I select the account, and then I put the project type, and then if you come to this place, you see something called a template. So this is already a template that I configured that has a couple of things with it. So by the time I create this project now, just like I did for the other one, you notice that it will already come with your folder structure. So typically on the project, one of the first things that you need to establish on this platform is your folder structure. How do you want to arrange your files? So just for the demonstration process, I'll just use another project that already has all these things configured. For example, I can use this project that is here. So I'll now be showing you various things that you need to set up on this platform. So by the time I come in here, there are two major modules I'll be looking at in this presentation, which is the docs module and the build module. So the docs module, by the time you go to the docs module, this is the place that you establish what you call your file naming convention. So this is another aspect of BIM. At the beginning of a project, you need to decide, during your selection plan exercise, that was carried out, how you want to name files on the project. So basically, you have such standards as ISO 19650 that specify how you can name files. There are also other standards in the industry. Some countries have their own specific naming convention. So basically, on this project, you need to decide which file naming convention are going to be using. So if I go back to this project that I created just now, and so you have to activate that only once in a project. So if I've activated the docs module, which is the one that comes with the files, right? If I've activated this docs module and this is saved, and then I go to the docs module, this platform gives you the feature to actually enforce a naming convention for on the project, and also gives you the liberty to choose which folders on the platform that you are going to enforce that naming convention. So basically, the way you do that, you can see this is just a project I created, but it already came with a folder structure. So you can see here, you can see different teams, architecture, structure, MEP. So in a project that I have different companies, ideally what happens is that each company will have their own work in progress folder. So this is for a work in progress folder for the architects. By the time you expand that, you begin to see other. So all these folders within this is for this team, and this is basically where the architectural team collaborates, and then the structural team, for example. So the same way you can have their subcontractors, different companies and different teams. Each of them will have their own work in progress folder, and they all collaborate. So basically, this is just a fine naming, a folder structure that we created. Actually, I have a course on LinkedIn Learning that talks more about this and even provides a sample folder structure that I can easily use. And then if you want to easily upload this, if let's say you are creating the project for the first time on this platform, there's another tool called Autodesk desktop app. So with that Autodesk desktop connector, actually, Autodesk desktop connector, you can easily create your folder structure and then you synchronize it, just upload it from that platform. So, but now that I already have a folder structure, if you want to enforce the naming standard on your project, all you have to do is, by the time you come to settings here, you see naming standard. So by the time you click on naming standard, so you can see that by default, it uses this ISO 19650 naming standard. So basically all you have to do, by the time you click on view, you now click on apply. Once you apply this on a project, you cannot undo it, but basically it allows you to choose the folders that you enforce this on. So what you see here is broken down into three major areas. You have what you call your file attributes. So if you're familiar with ISO 19650, you know that the naming standards come with a couple of attributes, like the project you're working on, the originator, which is the company is coming from, the volume of the system, the level, which is basically like the building on the project, the level within that building on the location, the type of file, the row, and the number and all that. So these are basically attributes. So it's now up to you to decide if you want to use the default from ISO 19650. Otherwise, you can also customize this. These are all those attributes. You can even remove some of them if you don't want. You can add custom attributes as well and all that. You can even add other related attributes like the revision of the file or the status of the file or the classification of the file, right? So once you've configured the naming standard, then if you also come back to that place, you see that there's another section called folder enforcement. So this is now for you to decide which folders you want to enforce that naming standard. So for the fact that you have this file naming standard enforced on the project doesn't mean that it must apply to all the folders. So let's say, for example, for the architectural team, they only want to make sure that all their documents follow that standard, and perhaps they are, let's say they are custom or whatever. Let's say these two folders, for example, for the architects, and then for the structural engineers, they want to make sure that they are QA/QC documents, and then you have the MEP engineers. So basically what this is showing you is that the fact that you have this applied on a project doesn't mean that every folder on that project must follow that standard. It's up to the project members to decide which folders in the project must meet the ISO 19650 naming standard. So once you do this now and you save this, then this becomes enforced on those folders. Then there's also one last section here, which is called the holding area. Basically what this does is that when someone uploads a file on this platform and the file does not meet the file naming standard that you've established, what happens? So basically what happens, if you activate this holding area, it will be moved to another folder called the holding area. So it's now up to the project administrators on that project to now decide what they are going to do to those. So basically all they have to do is to rename the files to ensure that it meets the standard. Once the file meets that naming standard, it will go to the intended folder it was supposed to go. So now if you come back to files here, and you notice that there are some folders that have a check mark on them. So whenever you see a folder that has a check mark on it, that means, for example, these documents and these documents, for example, when you see the check mark on it, you will notice that this is a folder that must meet any file adding to this documents folder must meet the ISO 19650 naming standard. So that is basically how you enforce naming standard on this platform. So if I want to upload any file now, the settings I've established here for my naming standard, if I go to this naming standard, it must follow this, it must have all these attributes based on what is established on the project. But every other folder that doesn't have that checked mark on it doesn't have to meet that standard. So that's basically, I've talked about two things now. The first one is how to establish your folder structure, which you can easily create. You create your normal folders on your PC and then use the desktop connector to upload on this platform. Or you can also create a project from another project using a template, and it's come automatically with the folder structure you've established on that project. Then the second one is the file naming standard, which you do by, if you go to this docs module, from files, you go to naming standard and you set up your naming standard, you set up the folders it will be enforced on, and also activate holding area if you want it. So if you want to see the holding area, once you come to this holding area here, beside folders, you will see all the files on this project that does not meet the ISO standard. So that's the second thing. Then of course, in the course of this presentation, I will now be showing you the different features that you have on this platform that enables you to minimize the level of paper printing and all those things that you have on the project. Now, I'll be focusing mostly on this build model because this is where the field activities actually take place. The features that you find on this model of this platform is basically what enables collaboration on the site. I know that I've told you that I'm going to be using the PlanGrid Build App, which is a mobile app, but basically you need to first of all create the project on the web platform, which is the Autodesk Build. So now when you go to this build module here, you will see the welcome or the home tab that I see here. So this is basically where you see everything about the project. You see the project location, you see the project progress. So because this project was set on this platform to end on the 15th of February this year, that is why it's showing that it's 100% complete. But of course, it will be showing you the percentage completion of the project. You see some quick links like the sheets on the project, the members on the project, some recent activities on the project, some of the work status like your assigned works, RFIs, issues, and whatnot, which I will also demonstrate in the course of this presentation. And then you also have the site weather, depending on the location you specified when you are creating the project, that's what determines the site weather and so many other things, right? So this is what the web looks like. So now I will switch to my phone to show you what the mobile app looks like, right? So basically this is you can see here on my screen my phone interface, which is also what I'm coding here on my. So if the app is called this PlanGrid Build App, it's available on mobile, on Android, is available on iOS. So when you download the app and you click open, so I hope you guys can see my mobile app right here behind. Let me close some of these windows so that it's not distracting. Yes, so this is what the mobile app looks like. So by the time you open this PlanGrid Build App, you select the project. So this is that same project that I was showing you just now. So this is what the home looks like, right? So when you open it, you see the same thing that you saw just now. You can see some recent sheets on the project. You can take a photo and add to the project. You can see your recently viewed files. You can see your work status. You can see your project work, and you can see a couple of other things. So this is basically the home. So now I'll be looking at, I'll be juggling between the web and the mobile app to show you how some things easily correlate. Right, so now I'll go back to the web. I just thought to show you that this is what the home looks like on the PlanGrid Build app, which is the mobile version of this platform. Right. So the next thing I have here is sheets. So basically what this sheet does is that this platform is intelligent enough to be able to print sheets from a 3D model. So let's say you have the consultants on the same platform. Remember that this is a community environment, and ideally you're supposed to have all the stakeholders on the same platform, the consultants, the contractors, and everybody on this platform. So let's assume that the consultants are already on this platform, and they've been collaborating through the design collaboration module that allows different teams to collaborate remotely from any part of the world. And now they have their B model on this platform. And now the guys on site need to receive the latest updates from them. You don't need to start printing PDF and start printing papers and start selling on sites. All you can do, you can easily come into this page and you go to the build module, then the sheets here. By the time you come here, you click on add sheets, and this will begin to launch this. So there are two ways you can add sheets. If you have already exported the PDF file from a B model, like a Revit file or whatnot, then you can easily upload it from your computer. But in this case, I actually have some Revit files on this platform already. So what I can do now is if I come here and I say from files. So files are the files on this platform, right? So if I come to my project files here now, for example, let's say I want to print the structural model from. So if you come here, you can see that under this folder, BIM model, then Revit. As a Revit file, this .rvt, you can see that this is a Revit file, right? I want to print out the sheets directly from this Revit file on this platform. I don't need to open a Revit software to do that. All I have to do, if I come here and I select this .rvt file, and then I click select, now it has added this. Now on this platform, we now move to the next, what is called version set. So you need to specify the version that that sheet you are printing belongs to. For example, you can see all this structure 004 and the likes. You can add to an existing version if you like, but you can also create a new version. So let's say I just call it structs 007, for example, and you can even specify the date that it will be issued. So today's date is 27th. So let's assume that this will be issued on Monday, for example, which is the 31st of this month. You do that, that's the next step, which is version set. And then the next thing now is the sheet numbers. So now what this thing will do is it will process this Revit file, this Revit model, the 3D model, and it will extract all the sheets. So as long as the people that worked on this Revit model have actually exported the sheets, I mean, they have placed all the views on sheets. If you use Revit, you know that there's something called views and there's something called sheets. So as long as you placed all the views on sheets in Revit, what it's basically doing is that it's reading that Revit file. So now you can see what I've done. It has read through that entire Revit model and it has identified 21 sheets, right? So this is basically how you print sheets. So imagine the consultants, for you to send your Revit files or your latest updates, all you have to do, because the consultants are also collaborating on this platform, all they have to do is to come in here, the project admin on this platform, because they have access to the consultants and the contractors. They can easily print out the latest update and send to the contractor. That's basically how you send latest file. So just updates in real time, everything is on way. So for here now, you can now choose. The fact that you have 21 sheets doesn't mean I need to send all of them. It still gives you the liberty to choose the sheets you want to send. But in this case, let's assume I want to send everything. I can select everything here. And if you still need to edit the sheet numbers or whatnot, there are a couple of tools here that allows you to modify a couple of things. But in this case, what you can also notice here is that it has identified the sheet number directly from Revit. So you can see even the naming standard and everything has been set from Revit and everything has been done. It extracted everything, has read through the Revit file and has extracted all the stuffs, right? So that's the second step. And then the next thing now is for you to now add the titles and the sheets and whatnot, the sheet numbers. So you can see everything came from the Revit file, ground floor layouts. We want to send this to the guys on the field and we need to get it from the consultant. So you can see now that extracted the sheet titles and all that. The same thing, you select all of them if I want to edit anything. But for now, all I can do now is to publish sheets. So what it will now do is that it will send these sheets to the files. So on this platform, there are two things. You have the internal files and you have the sheets for the guys on site. So this sheets folder now is where the guys on site get the latest sheets on this platform. If you go to the docs model, you notice that there are something else, or these files. If you come to these files rather, you notice that there are two set of files here. You have for the field. So those sheets actually come here. You can see sheets now. So ideally, they are supposed to land in this place or other documents and whatnot that you have on this platform. Why this project file is mostly for consultants. So you have the contractors and the consultant. So just to show you what has happened, if I go back to the mobile app now, I can synchronize the app and I can easily, so all I have to do now, if I come to this mobile app, if I go back to projects, I can click on this refresh icon at the lower right corner of this. By the time it refreshes, it will notice that there's an update. So if you check here now, you see that there is this update on the project I opened the last time. It will show you this red icon on it. So by the time I click on it, I can synchronize. So very quickly, it will download all the updates that has taken place between the last time that you synchronized and right now. So now it has read through it and it has identified those sheets that I just published. Right. So if I open this project now and go to sheets, now if I refresh this, you will see that even from here I can filter. So if I come to this filter now, I can filter by, you can see this struct 007 that I just created. It was created on the 31st of, it is supposed to be published on the 31st of October 2022, which is what I just set, right? Once I do this now, and then it will apply that. If I click on done now, it will apply that filter. So these are those 21 sheets that I just published. If I open this now, you see that these are the sheets coming from that structural B model. So from here, you can even make some annotations, you can add text, you can do a couple of things from the mobile app. So this is coming now from the mobile app. So that's one of the features that I have on this platform for paperless construction. Right. So I will go back to the web once again. Now we've talked about sheets, we've talked about files. So files is still basically similar to the one we saw under docs. That's where you manage your folders and access the files and do a couple of things. Now the next thing you have there is what you call issues. So on a project site, there are so many, there are always issues, right? You can have a lot of issues on a project site. So just a moment, this is loading up. So you can have quite a number of issues ongoing on a project site. Let's say you come to a site and then you notice that a beam or a slab is not properly installed, or even a door, window, or whatever component, or it could be any kind of issue whatsoever. Something is not right on the site, and it doesn't have to be, as long as on this platform, when the project was created, you have the privilege to be able to create an issue, right? All you have to do, by the time you come in here, you say create issue, and then it select the type of issue that it is. So this is the title. Then on that type, so let's say this has to do with observation. For example, you observe that something is not right, and then you can give it a title. Let's say door 0090 installation error, something like that. Then you can set the status of the issue, which can always be changed later. You can add some description, just put a couple of things there to describe what is actually ongoing there. Now, most importantly, you can now assign this issue. You can assign this issue to a member of the project. You can assign it to a role on the project, meaning that anybody that has this role assigned to him or her on the project would be notified about this issue. And also, you can assign this issue to an entire company. So you can see all these roles, and then you can see these last two here are companies. So let's say, for example, this issue has to do with installation, and the company that is in charge is this particular company. I can simply assign this issue to anybody that's part of this company, and the person will be notified. Then you can also add other things like the people that are observing the issue to make sure that it's resolved. You can specify a location on the project where the issue is coming from. For example, is it Tower 1, Tower 2, and whatnot. You can specify a due date when this issue must be resolved. And you can even specify a root cause of this issue. Maybe it's a code compliance related issue or something. That's a root cause, right? So you do all these things and then you create. Now, whoever is assigned this issue will be notified immediately through an email that an issue has been assigned to the person. And this is already published. So if you want to unpublish the issue, you can also unpublish it. Later, if the issue is resolved, you can easily come in here and change the status of the issue. You can always come here and edit a couple of other things. But more importantly, you can even add attachments to this issue. Let's say you need to add a photo to this issue. You can come in here. You can either upload a photo or you select one of the existing photos on this platform and you add it to the issue and whatnot. So these are comments that can, activities can be ongoing. And if you come here, you see the activity logs that are ongoing on the project until that issue is finally resolved. When it's finally resolved, then you can easily come here and make it a closed issue, and it's closed. So you can see, for example, this is just a demonstration project. This is a demo project, but you can see all the ongoing issues. And issues can be created. This is from the build panel. You can also build module rather. You can also create issues from the design collaboration module during design. You can create issues directly on docs if you are reviewing documents. You can create issues from the cost management, which is for contractors managing their cost on sites. Even take off for quantities of layers. You can create issues literally from almost any module on this platform. And all those issues, you can access all of them from these issues panel right here. So that's the next feature you have here. The next one I also have is what you call forms. So basically, forms is also another important tool that this platform provides that allows the project admin or the project manager or whoever is on the site to coordinate activities. So their activities on site. What you can easily do, well, of course, I must mention that for that to happen, everybody that's on site also need to have license on this platform and they need to have an account. Right, so what you can easily do is to come in here and then you create what is called a form template. So as a project admin on this platform, you can create a form template. So by the time you create a form template, when these people come in here, they now create what you call the form. So just to also show you, I think I skipped the demonstration for issues. So let me just quickly show you what the issue looks like on the mobile app. So also when you come into this mobile app, on the lower right corner here, if you click on more, you see issues. So if you refresh this now, as when I refresh that project, I type a comment, you see that issue I created, but you can also see all the issues that are ongoing on this project. I can easily access any of them from the app. So from here now, you can see, you can attach photos, you can add files, you can add forms, assets, RFIs, and whatnot. And that is how that issue will be ongoing until it is finally resolved. If you want to add comments, you can easily come in here and add a comment to this. You can type whatever it is you want to type and you post. And anybody that's part of that issue will see the comments. So that is it for issues. So I'll just be juggling between the two. Then, of course, I was talking about forms. So like I said, the way this platform works when it comes to form is that the project administrators create a form template. So if you come here, you can see what I call there are two tabs here. You have the templates and you have the forms. So the project admins are the ones that can create a form template, and they now assign the people that can create form using that template. So you can be a project manager on the site. You create a template that, let's say you want the installers to be sending you their daily work log. You can create a work log template, for example, and then at the end of every day, before they leave the site, they simply come there and create a form using that template that you've created. So for example, here, you come in and you see the forms, and you can see the forms template that I have. So for example, I have this custom daily report, for example. If I pick on this now, I can now use it to actually create a form. So just to show you how that works on the mobile app as well, if I come to this mobile app and then I go back here, if I go to forms, right? So I can just pick any of these just for demonstration. You can see daily field report, for example. So assuming I'm the guy that is working on site and I need to submit a form, all I have to do now is to come in here and then I fill in the fields that whoever, so you can see placeholder question and whatnot, depending on what the person has specified. For example, this safety reports here now, if I view it, I can begin to fill in all these things and then I submit, right? So what the person that created the template will now do, by the time the person comes back here, the person will just pick any of this form and the person will see all the submissions, right? So you click on all forms. For example, this sample form now, you can see there's no submission yet on this. So basically what the project manager on this platform will do is that at the end of every day, you will come back here and then if you click on any form here, you will see all the submissions that have been made. So that is how you can be managing activities on a site without having to print so many things and doing a lot of manual coordination, and everything is going into a central location. And then you also have the photos. Photos is also one of the interesting things because on a project site, photos, one thing with photos is that they can easily be attached to other things. You can attach a photo to an issue, you can attach a photo to a form, you can attach a photo to a meeting, a submitter, RFI, and whatnot. But one good thing about photo is that it's optimized for mobile. So if you snap a photo on this platform using your mobile device, it actually tracks the GPS of that photo. So that means that anybody that is capturing an image, for example, let me go to the mobile app, for example. So if I come to this mobile app now and I go to, if I click on more down here and then I select photos, right? I can easily add a photo by clicking the add at the lower right corner of this screen, and then I can upload from my photo library or I can just use camera. So let's say now, just for demonstration, I just snap this, right? And then I've captured this photo and then I click on next and then I select this photo now and then I can either delete it or just click done. So once it's done now, it's added to the project. So you can see this image. Now, if you click on this icon here that looks like a jagged, shape, if you click on it, you actually see the distribution of all the photos that are being captured on that project. Every photo on this. So imagine a project site, you can see how all the photos that are being captured on the project are distributed across the site because every photo you're capturing has a GPS location. Just to go back, let me go back to this place. So if I refresh this page just now, because it's the same project that I'm using on the mobile app, you notice that that photo I just captured has been added to my photo gallery. So you can see the image I just captured. Now, you can see, if you come back here, come down here now, you see the GPS location of this. I'm not supposed to show you my location, but anyway, so you can see that that image actually has a GPS information. So these are also one of the interesting features of photos. And of course, you can make annotations. If on the mobile app, you can easily scribble on it, add some comments and whatnot. But basically, all the photos, some of the photos you are seeing here actually came from the design collaboration. Some of them came from the model coordination part of this when you are detecting clashes and all this. So everything is kind of coordinated. When you are detecting clashes, it also automatically generates images of those clashes, and everything can be centrally accessed from here. Even from here, from these references, you can attach other things to a photo. You can add an RFI to a photo, a form, and attach sheets and whatnot. So basically, see that all the coordination on a project site can be going into a central platform, which is what this build model of this platform is optimized for. And then you have the next one, which is the RFIs. I need to be looking at the time. So I think I'm already like 40 minutes in. So the next one I have is the RFI. So basically, the way the RFI works is that typically the subcontractors on a project need to get an information perhaps from the consultants. So you have on this platform the what you call RFI permissions, or for this permission there are three major permissions. You have what you call the creators, you have what you call the managers, and you have what you call the reviewers. So typically by default, people that create, everybody on the project can create. Actually, you can see creator, manager, and reviewer. Typically, the subcontractors are usually the creators of RFI on this platform, even though everyone can create. And then the general contractor on the platform is typically the manager of RFI, and then the consultants like the architects are typically the reviewers. So typically the RFI comes from the subcontractors and it goes to the manager first, and then the manager will now send it to the reviewer. And then so basically on this platform you can set up what you call the RFI workflow. So you can have multiple people that are actually reviewing the RFI. So it moves from the creator to the manager, and then the manager will distribute it to the reviewers. So just to show you, of course, I've created, if you want to create an RFI, I have to do, if you come here, you say create RFI, but that takes a couple of times to set up. So I'll just use an existing one here, so I won't take so much time. So for example, you can see this cost implication. For example, let's say the subcontractor needs to know the cost implication for changing the cable tray vendor, for example, on the project and something like that. So you can see here the question for the RFI, the current status of it. You can see ball and cut is the person that needs the next person in line. So you can have multiple people in the RFI, have multiple reviewers, multiple people that need to review the RFI and provide information. So the person that is next to provide information. So you can see a submit official response. For example, that the person needs to review the RFI and provide information, right? So that person needs to now provide that information, and you can see if that RFI impact cost on the project can specify, and if also impact the schedule of the project can also specify. And you can add other things here as well. You can add references, images, you can see all the activities ongoing. So let's say, for example, I submit official response now and say, what's the cost implication? Let's say the cost implication is additional $1,500, for example. That could be a response, but of course, this is just a demonstration. And then once you do this now, you see that it will go back, once all the reviewers have reviewed that RFI, it will go back to the manager, which is typically the general contractor. Then the person can now close this RFI and distribute it. So you can even add other people that you want them to be notified, people that also need that information, right? And once you do that, once you close and distribute, that means everybody have the RFI has been approved and the status will now be closed. Later, you can still come here and reopen it if you actually set that up in your settings. So that is for RFI. This is basically how you share information. So if you need any information, you can easily come in here and create an RFI instead of sending emails, making phone calls, and those things. And everything can be easily tracked on one central place. So that is basically for RFI. They also have the submittals. Submittals is typically the general contractor this time asking for submissions, for example, from the subcontractor. So let's say they need to bid for an aspect of the project or something. So the general contractor on this platform can easily come in here and create a submitter and now send it out to all the subcontractors on the project. The workflow is quite similar to an RFI. You also need to set up a couple of settings here. But it's also one of the important places that specification and standardization comes in. The way this platform works is that for a submitter, you have the submitter like terms, and you have submitter packages. And those things need to follow a particular standard. You can use maybe a CSI master format for your items and whatnot. So for example, if you click on this now, so typically actually you have this what is called the spec sections, which typically comes from a master format. It can be the CSI master format. So this is actually where standardization begins to come. So from this place now, these are just some sample spec sections that have been created. Right. So if you want to create a spec section, just put in the specification number and the specification title. For example, you can see all these ones, the specification number and the title. So and a submitter now, you can package different submitter items together and send out at once. So that's where this package is coming. So if you come under this package, you can now open a package and see the item. For example, you can see this integrated construction package, for example. Inside it, you have multiple submitter items. So you can even add more items that have not been added to a package. So you can see under this package, you have multiple submitter items on it. So basically, if you come back to these submitters, all you have to do, let's say you're a general contractor and you need submissions from the subcontractors, you come in here and then you can either import, if you already have like a spreadsheet of multiple, and they have all their spec number, spec section, and specification name and title and everything. Or you can actually create the item one after the other, right? So you just specify the section it belongs to, and you can now put a sub-spec section that, and then put a title, put description. You can add it to a package and whatnot, choose a template. That this template is what determines the workflow, because you can also have multiple steps underneath the submitter process. And then you can specify the type of elements. So let's say it's product data and whatnot. By the time you finish doing this, simply create the submitter. So now all you now have to do is, if you now come here, you can select multiple items, for example, and you can perform some bulk actions. You can add them to package, you can remove them from package, depending on their status. For example, you can see that these ones have been submitted. You can submit to a manager, you can submit for review, you can delete the drafts and a couple of things. So this is basically how you submit, you carry out your submittals on this platform. There are so many other things, and which because of time, I cannot even begin to go through all of them. And even these meetings, you can even coordinate meetings on this platform. Not that it's going to be a live meeting, but you can actually manage the meeting activities while the meeting is ongoing. For example, during this live session, someone can be tracking all the activities, all the conversations and everything. So basically, when you come in here, you click on create meeting, and then from here, you can set up the meeting title, you can add invitees, you can add references, things that need to be discussed, could be documents and whatnot. From here, you can see, you can add sheets and files and whatnot. It can even be Revit files or Civil 3D or graphic, ArchiCAD or whatever. You can add the files from this place, and then you can now even generate, if you are integrated with Zoom, it's a platform, you can integrate with Zoom or Microsoft Teams, right? So from this meeting link, if you've done that, there's a way you can easily come here and it automatically generates a link, but I've not done that already. So, but basically the way the meeting works is that you put in the meeting description and you begin to discuss. So I'll just use one of the existing meetings here to show you how that works. So let's say this safety inspection meeting, for example, by time. So basically you can even have what we call the follow-up meetings. So when you see an agenda, that means that meeting has not taken place. And when you see minutes, it means that it has taken place. So let me open this one that has not taken place. So basically, by the time you open it, you can see the meeting discussions talking about safety, equipment is noted, and blah, blah, blah. So if you select a particular meeting item, you can even assign it to somebody. So for this assignee, you can assign it to somebody, and that person will become the responsible person. And while the meeting is ongoing, you can easily come here and add some notes about that particular item. You can change the status of the item and whatnot. So basically what happens is that at the end of the meeting, every item that has not been closed, you can now come in here and create what you call a follow-up meeting, right? So it will now transfer all the unresolved items from that meeting and automatically put them into the new meeting. So you can use this to actually coordinate activities, and then even during attendance, all these invitees, you can easily mark attendance from here as well. If you come to these invitees, you can see this, you can easily make invitee and all those things. But basically from here, as the meeting is ongoing, you can check people that attended the meeting, and then they will not be marked as they attended that meeting. So it's not as if the meeting takes place live on this platform, but you can actually synchronize. So you can easily come here and put a meeting link, or you can even generate it using Zoom, and then when the meeting is done, you can easily come here and change this agenda to minutes. That's basically how you do it. So once you mark your meeting as minutes, rather, meaning that it's now the meeting has taken place. Once it's become minutes, you cannot change all these things again. It becomes locked. So you can see that all those things have disappeared. The closed items will disappear and all that. So that's basically how you coordinate your meeting. There are so many other things. You can also manage your assets. So if you have your assets on the project, this platform also allows you to centrally manage everything on the platform. I can actually keep going on and on. There are so many things that you can do on this platform, but like I said earlier, I have an online course on LinkedIn Learning, which actually allows you to, go into detail about everything I've been saying here, right? So when time you go to that course, you will see all these things I've been saying. And then of course, recently we also launched, we are trying to set up a community where we come together and share ideas and knowledge. So recently we established on our e-learning platform as well. We also created a community. So basically the e-learning platform is this website, blazeme.com. If you visit blazeme.com, from the menu here, you see this into the building tech community. So if you visit this page, it's completely free. And the interesting part is that if you join the community, there's one of our courses that talks about collaboration and coordination that you can also access for free. Once you join the community, you are able to access the course. It's over 7 hours. It's actually one of the modules in our ongoing training, which is called the BIM Masters. By the time you join the community, you can see that the course is over 7 hours. You can access the entire covers tools, like even this PlanGrid that we're talking about is part of the course. BIM Collaborate Pro, Revit, and a couple of other collaboration tools. You find all of them in that course, and the course is 7 hours. So Basically, just visit this blazemane.com, and from the menu, you see this ITBT community, and then you can join the community for free. Basically, it has not launched. The community is launching next year by January, but we are still trying to build, put the members together. So all you have to do is visit the website and then just click any of these buttons to join the community for free. So at this point, I will stop sharing my screen and I will start looking at your questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type it into the comments section. I think, let me see the time. Okay, so I have just a few minutes left because the target is 1 hour. We just have about 10 minutes. So some people say nice platform for project and document management. Yeah, it's actually a whole lot. I definitely cannot cover it in an hour. I have a course on LinkedIn, and you can also check it out. So visit my profile on LinkedIn, and then some of the official links there will take you to the course. I can also add it to the comments of this page later of this particular event so that I can access it. And then say this is so amazing. Yeah, thank you. So if you have any question or any clarification that you need, please type it into the comment section. Yeah, thank you, Mr. G. On my side, it feels like I'm talking to the screen anyway, but thank God that you find it amazing or awesome. Thank you. If you have any question, please. I just have about 10 minutes to go. I'll be glad to answer the question. But like I said earlier, we basically are creating an online community. So, okay, someone asked, how does this platform capture health and safety and subcontractor management? Okay, yeah, health and safety, of course, I can't really go into a lot of things, but the platform has, let me see if I can share my screen again, just a bit. So talking about health and safety, if you go into the platform, it actually has something called the App Store. So if you go to the insights model of this, it actually allows you to connect to other third-party platforms that can now leverage, because this insight is more like an artificial intelligence powered aspect of this platform. It aggregates all the activities on the project and it begins to give you insights into what's happening. And of course, the platform itself, you can see this safety, for example. This is just a demonstration project, but basically, based on the issues that are ongoing on the project, safety issues by company and all that. And beyond that, if you come to any of these, for example, if I go to this my dashboard, which is customized, you can actually customize and add other solutions from other people. Okay, so let me just create one from scratch. So if you come here now, you can actually, from this card library, it links you. For example, you can see that there is an entire group of, these are like solutions from other companies, things like Microsoft BI and so many things that can integrate into this place and bring those data to improve your project. So if I click on this safety, for example, you can see there are these safety issues by company and all that. And then you can even integrate if you have other license to other platforms. So you can see there are so many things going here. You can see all these areas fair. So things like drone, there are all these drone companies and the like, they also provide solutions that you can easily integrate. So the idea of this platform is to become a common data environment. It's basically an ecosystem. People are building solutions to run on basically powered by Autodesk Forge, I believe. And then people are leveraging that, the same operating system or the programming language to build solutions on this platform. And so it's not limited to just the native features of this, but even the platform itself, you can see some things that has to do with quality, something that has to do with safety. But this is actually an integrated ecosystem that you can now add more solutions from more vendors and basically expand. But the idea of this insight is to give you an insight into all the activities, to show you all the ongoing issues, all the RFIs, design issues, and all the. So if there are also health-related issues on the projects, it will also show here, and you can customize all this and add more cards from other vendors. So basically, the way the industry is headed, most of these companies are building solutions that also run on this platform. So I hope that answers your question. And then Someone say thanks for the presentation. Yeah, thank you for attending as well. I say great reaction. I'm signing up for. Okay, yeah, just go to the menu and join the community. It's free for now. Might change later, but for now it's still free. So someone is asking. I'm asking because I use Procore, which is great for project management, but I still have to use Salos to manage health and safety system management. Yes, Procore is a very amazing solution. It's also a bit similar to what this one does as well. Even though I think it's just the pricing and their own business model that differs a bit, and it tends to focus more on governments and big projects. And because the way this one works, I think everybody on the platform needs to come with their own license, but Procore basically uses the project budget to determine their own price. But yeah, Procore is very amazing as well, and they provide similar benefits as well. But like I said, the insight aspect, even those integrations that you might have to do, you might still have to pay for the third-party integration if the company is coming from. If it's not a page, just like the way you have plugins in your Revit or other design tools. If it's not a free plugin, you might have to pay for it. But basically, they are basically expanding the platform in a way that you can add other safety-related. So just like you said, I use Salos to manage health and safety system management. Yeah, so if the native features in the platform does not meet what you need, then you might also need to integrate all those other third-party solutions into the platform. Anyway, I'm not an Autodesk sales rep, so I might not have given you the best answer. I'm not an Autodesk employee. I don't have any affiliation with Autodesk per se. I'm just promoting the digital transformation of the industry per se. So you can also reach out to Autodesk and find out more about that. And then someone said, this sounds a little complicated for a small team. Is it a good idea to apply this to smaller projects like a 900 square bungalow primary school? Well, honestly, the idea of BIM is not based on the project size, but of course, if it's just a bungalow that are designing, then this might not be a good investment. The bungalow might not even need to go all the way out. Some people still design buildings without even creating a 3D model. Yeah, for small projects, this might not be cost effective or even a great idea because, like I said, all the people on sites, ideally for this to work properly, need to also have their individual licenses and everybody is communicating. So it's when you have that level of collaboration. You have weak links, which you can easily find in small projects like this, then it will not offer you the best advantage. So it's optimized really for very big projects, or at least medium to very big projects. And then someone says, great, thank you. I will research more on this to know if sellers come together. Okay, yeah. It can also, I think they have, I'll try to find out let me see if I can find the link to their app store. Maybe I'll drop, if I don't find it now, I'll drop it into the comments. So you can go to the app store and see all the supported integration. People are creating, in fact, they will allow you to create and suggest your own solutions as well, to integrate into the, just a minute. Yeah, so okay, yeah, let me share my screen again so that I'll show you what the app looks like. The app store. So this here is you can see there are so many apps here. This is basically the Autodesk Construction Cloud and BIM 360. So you can see this apps.autodesk.com/BIM360, blah, blah, blah. So you can see so many solutions. So you can see the ones that has to do with cost management, construction management, construction, and all that. So people are basically building, there are so many solutions that are running on, like I said, it runs on this Forge, Autodesk Forge. So people basically are building solutions on it, and you can just research and find out if they sell us, but I'm not so certain of that. Yep. I hope that answers the question. Yeah, Eugene, you are welcome. So I guess we are almost out of time, just 2 minutes left. So thank you everyone that attended. This hopefully is going to be a series of live. I just decided to start with this, but most importantly, do well to check out our academy community. Yeah, we just pre-launched it 2 days ago, but it will be officially launched next year by January. So we just want people to be a part of the community, and if you have knowledge, it's not something that this one is just a one-way communication. It's actually bi-directional. Anybody can contribute, can share opportunities, your challenges, your ideas and whatnot in the community, and everybody can actually learn together. So just visit blazeme.com, and from the menu you see community, just join in from there. So I've run out of time, and also I can't see any more questions here. So thanks again to everyone that made that time. There's so many activities online, and it's still fun time to be here. So thank you very much. Hope to see you guys soon.